A lot of people make videos covering some of the worst stuff to come out in X year. Obviously, that's not something I've done in the past. I kind of wanted to do it for mods, but I don't know, it's kind of hard to, how do you determine the worst mod of the year? And then even beyond that, people are doing this for free out of their free time. I don't really want to be taking shots at them. So instead, I was like, hey, why don't we take a big company such as Bethesda? And in today's video, what I want to be looking at is the 5 worst things to come out of Creation Club in this past year. Creation Club is pretty controversial. There's a lot of people that hate it, a lot of people like me that are kind of on a strong dislike status. But, you know, there's even some people out there that are really enjoying it and liking the content coming out. I've never met any of those people, but I imagine they exist. But, you know, whether or not you do like it or not, it does exist. So today we're going to be taking another look at some of the things that did come out over the past 6 or so months, and hopefully Bethesda can watch this video and learn, all right, let's not do those things again. I don't think that'll happen, but either way, with number 1, we do have the Morgan Spacesuit. So this is going to be an interesting one. The Morgan Spacesuit honestly doesn't even look that bad. If you're a fan of Prey and you want to bring that kind of stuff into Fallout 4, despite it not really being lore friendly or even really looking lore friendly, then hey, the Morgan Spacesuit might be for you. The reason that I don't like it is because if you download this or buy it through Creation Club and then have it in your game, you're going to start off every single new playthrough of Fallout 4 with this super overpowered spacesuit at level 1. It's not really overpowered in the grand scheme of things, but at level 1 to get a spacesuit that has pretty decent mid-game stats is kind of broken. Radiation will be irrelevant because this thing has crazy good radiation protection. So you either have one of two options. You could A, drop it at the beginning of every game like I do, or go store it somewhere and be like, all right, you know what, I won't use that. Morgan Spacesuit has no modifications, so the way you get it is the way it is for the entire game. But obviously it's going to hit its stride at some point and actually be like, oh yeah, a really good piece of armor that is well balanced, but at the beginning of the game and even towards the end of the game, it's either useless or overpowered. So for that reason, it became really tedious and obnoxious to have in my inventory every time I started to record a new video of a new playthrough or that required me to start a new game. So, you know, for me, it's a personal hatred. Then we do have Plague of the Dead. When I read the description for this one, or even just saw some of the up and coming stuff for it, I got hyped. Zombies in Skyrim. Well, turns out it's not really of that quality. This is actually the quality it's of. What this is actually going to do is retexture some of the NPCs that you find in other parts of Skyrim, give them a repetitive and repeating sound effect, and give you a spell that allows you to conjure them. It does say they spawn naturally in the world. I never saw anyone actually find any, so maybe they do. Maybe it's just like only 1 or 2 and they always get killed by another NPC. But this mod was just a joke. It could have been so cool. Imagine playing through Skyrim and having zombies crawling out of the ground at nighttime, having the NPCs, or maybe you're using one of those war mods and finding people battling against zombies and trying to survive, but that's not what this is at all. If Bethesda revisited this and totally overhauled it and did that, you know, I would definitely give it a pass. I'd try it out again, but as it stands right now, definitely not worth your money. Then we have the Doom Marine armor. This is another armor that actually looks pretty good. The armor actually has better stats and more upgradability, and everything else about it is going good until you look at the belly button area. I don't know why Bethesda decided this, but they chose to make it kind of be a crop top. In the original Doom, it was not a crop top, and even in the newer Doom games, you have a totally separate armor, also not a crop top. But for some reason, in its integration into Fallout 4, it is now a crop top that you can't change. It is always going to be like this. If you're using a really bulky male character, you will have your stomach exposed. I just don't understand why this is here. I feel like it really turns me away from the armor. Believe it or not, most people playing in a post-apocalyptic setting of a game aren't going to want their stomachs exposed in that same game. I know, it's rocket science. Super crazy that no one saw it coming. If you get over that, it's definitely a cool armor. I think there's a few mods that actually fix this, but if you either A, don't have access to those, or B, it does bother you, definitely make a pass on this one. Then we have the Railroad Weapon Paint Job. When I initially covered this, I was like, it's whatever. But upon further inspection, it literally just looks like turd on a gun. Like, not turd in the generalized term, like actually brown poop has been spread all over your gun. It is just not an appealing paint job on pretty much any of the weapons I covered or used with it. I don't know how this got past inspection. I feel like there's other tones of brown or even other paint jobs that you could use to represent the railroad like other people have done that look a little bit better than this one. But for whatever reason, this is what we have. It costs $1. You get it in a bundle also like I did. But, you know, again, do you really need it? Then last but not least, we do have Stendar's hammer. This is another one where it's just like, why? So basically the way you get this hammer is you wander over to this location and click the control button or click in the left joystick, aka sneaking, and then pick it up. I know, super crazy. All the guards just suddenly are like, oh yeah, that big hammer that was famous is gone, but you're holding it. Oh, no connection there. Which, whatever. I don't like the way you get this weapon, but I feel like the legendary effect change that Bethesda chose to do in the final version in Skyrim is the one part I do take real issue with. With the original version of this weapon, not in Skyrim, the way it worked is each swing of the hammer actually cost you increasing amounts of stamina, but also did increasing amounts of damage. So you could kind of deplete your stamina very rapidly, but you could do a lot of damage if you do have a lot of stamina. I felt like it was a really cool trade-off. In Skyrim, that's just fixed. It costs this amount of stamina and does this amount of damage. Why did they gut the identity of this weapon, now making it just basically another hammer in the game? I don't know, but they did for some reason. It's another one that I really don't get. Like, it seems like it would have just been simpler and more people would have bought this if you just left the old thing you already created. Instead, you try to innovate, and I guess, is that innovation? Either way, it's gonna wrap it up for this video. Hopefully, again, in 2018, Bethesda learns from their mistakes. It definitely seems like we're on an upward trend. Creation Club started off really bad and I think has gotten a little bit better. Not that much better, but a little bit. Most of the creations in this video are from the earlier releases, so I guess that's a good sign. As always, again, thank you guys for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see all of you next time. Later.